It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Only got... It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we back up. Running these racks up. 100 meals a week after.
Menu narration option is set to off.
Made a meal today and they my last one.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Made it, kill it, and did it again. But the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it.
Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
I'm moving too fast, I can't stop. Wiping it down with the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top when the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed it, blinding my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up.
I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you try.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Carolina Panthers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, it is just the perfect time of year for a trip to the Carolinas, and that's where we find ourselves at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
On first down, it's Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be fourth down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. Now we've got whistles, and the man slow to get up here is Jones. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. You can get it.
Here's Rodgers. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
It's tough to be an offensive lineman in Green Bay because their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, knows how to keep plays alive and often extends them for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. But David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, he does it as well as anyone could ever expect. Excellent footwork, knows that the plays are going to stay alive for a long time. Often will get 2 or 3 blocks on the same play.
Number 50. Hey, you block over here.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Another try after the first down sack. Newton.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing third and long. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Mike. 53 is the mic. All day.
On 2nd and 15 now. Rodgers. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Right now they're ranked number 29 in the NFL against the pass, so 4th from the bottom, Charles.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. They were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23. A shotgun snap for Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Preston Smith, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And this is going to be Packer football. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal. Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. They'll try the left side. Felton. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
On 3rd down, Felton. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
On 2nd down now, it's Carson. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the 2nd half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a 1st down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Boy, that is a 7-yard loss. 2nd down now.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 2nd down, It's Carson, and he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. And now they're looking for 19 yards here on third down following 2 negative plays. They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the #1 spot.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
It's a big play there for Green Bay. 47 yards on the ground. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Joe McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There's a lot of debate about who is going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And this one is right through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. I think this crowd not really sure what to make of things. You know, their guys have not looked very good. Their leader here at the top, he hasn't looked that great either. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And the Packers pick it up. And he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. Second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball. And here is the kicks away following that fumble return. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Chris Carson trotting back out there. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
On first down, Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now they got to get to the line quickly to try again after the sack. Newton. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them, that's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Right back to him on first down. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 13 yards, first down, Packers.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. A first carry now for the BYU man. It's Jamal Williams. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On the ground, this is Williams. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. On second down, Williams. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Jamal Williams, his first touchdown of the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
Could not block that one any better. Everyone was accounted for, and a great surge by the offensive line.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
They run again with Carson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Now the Packers get set to go. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field. Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you stop the clock, and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock. We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And we're back now in Charlotte. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Fancy footwork at the 45. 8 yards, first down as they're able to convert.
That's how you get right up off of the mat, because on the last play, they stoned him in the backfield and dropped him for a loss. But he's the type of guy that scared me a little bit because he's not daunted. Just got right back up, showed some confidence, and picked up a first down in his very next run.
And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Now a give, right side. Felton. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The Packers on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. Felton. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
On first down, Felton. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Brent, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
Following the penalty, it's Williams. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. On 2nd down now, Felton. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll keep it on the ground. Felton. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They get the first, the decision to run on Third and medium winds up being a good one.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
So another third down conversion, and now they've got a first and goal. Williams. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make it second and goal. Back at the 5-yard line now, second and goal.
You better bring. Right now, you got 58. You better bring. Start with 58.
They'll try the left side. Felton. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a third and goal. And now they're in the hurry-up.
You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby! Slam, slam, slam!
They'll keep it on the ground. Felton hammering for the goal line. He loses the football, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And that will write a finish to this ball game. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory, and this was truly a total team effort, Charles.